Hello there and welcome back to the Sanctum, the place where I show you all my tricks, will pull them off live right in front of you. And today is going to be a very special day. Let me turn down the volume of the freaking headphones, which is kind of getting in my way.
Yeah.
Yes, we're going to be doing something quite special because the first time that we're going to be actually using hardware with Bitwig Studio. We're going to be using the controllers and everything that Bitwig Studio offers when it comes to the control over synthesizers based on MIDI. So this is going to be fun. Aren't you excited, Thiago? The Estonian Brave and idea of sometimes beautiful.
I am. I'm very
Which
excited.
I assume is going to say hello to the girls and the boys.
Hello, girls and boys. How's it going? I'm very glad to be back, and it's great to have you here as well. And yes, I am actually excited because I know what's coming because the Moog is excellent.
Yes. So without further ado, let's get into it. Welcome back to Bitwig Studio. In front of us with the project that we've been using so far to create a track. At this stage, we got something that is now quite musical, I gotta admit. It's starting to shape up and turn into a song. So let's play the music, listen to it, and discuss what we got so far. Here we go, from the top. From the top. How about that? I didn't remember doing this without the humbleness that characterizes me. Tastes good.
It's Tuesday.
What do you think?
Jokes aside, actually, I had fun listening to it.
Yeah,
It has quite a lot of motion already.
Yeah.
Of course, it's missing parts. It's not a full track yet. But the thing is, it has a personality or it has a vibe, and it's vibing.
Yeah, it's starting to get somewhere. I happen to read that statement. Let me just do a quick recap because I have no idea what I did. No. Look, it's because this sound is actually badass. If I remember correctly, we actually played with the sampler last week, and we did all sorts of shenanigans to our samples. This is something that I did with a particular sample that I got from Mega Sampler. Then I recorded the whole thing, bounced it in place, then doctored it into Oblivion, and we were using some of the. The devices is the Artverb, which is actually a plethora of devices, one on top of other, as you can see here. Okay.
Yes.
More on
And
that.
melting.
Yeah. More on that in the previous episode. Okay. Now, what's the plan of today? Since we already established in the title for this particular live stream that we're going to be rocking hardware, and since I already put so much emphasis on the hardware, let's begin with it. What are we going to be using? We're going to be using the Moog Motor 32, which is already connected through the use of a MIDI cable, MIDI to USB cable that you can see here already, attached to its MIDI input. This guy is going to be controlled and triggered by the use of the MIDI controller that I got on this side, outside of view. But it's here, you can hear me hitting the notes. And also, it's going to be controlled by Bitwig Studio itself. That's the beauty of using a MIDI control device. Why? Because MIDI is basically electrical signals. And what we're going to be doing is using the sequencer that is Bitwig Studio to output MIDI signal through the use of the cable that will be controlling and triggering the notes on the Moog. Like if we were dealing with a virtual instrument. Why? Because that's actually how virtual instruments works. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, let's begin. How to do it? First, let's go to Bitwig. We're going to create, of course, an instrument track. So we're going to go to Add, instrument track, and let me make sure that I put it somewhere that is not terrible. I'm gonna put it since this is melodic. Well, we're gonna rearrange this whole thing later on. Now you know what? Let's begin. I usually have my drums on top. Mariana's been my bass. No, it's not. Well, it's Mariana, so I know because we got the bass. And Legend is also the percussion. These two guys are gonna be on their drums. And what else were those? My bass already there. Perfect. Mariana is already there. The pads and instrument. My instrument is going to be some form of lead because the Moog 32, Model 32 is a mono synthesizer. And we're going to be using it as a lead sound. Let's see. First, we already inserted our instrument track. Now we're going to go here and we're going to be looking for a device that is particularly called. Look at that. It's already in front of us. What a coinkling. HW instrument. I know it doesn't stand for Harley Waltz. That sucked, sorry. It's hardware instrument, okay? So I'm going to select it, press OK, thank you very much. And if I press a note, sound will be coming out of Bitwig. That's what I would say if I did it correctly. I did it, let me explain. This is important. You need to select first the output for the device. MIDI works in a particular fashion. There are 16 channels that you can use to send information back and forth, okay? And those channels allows for you to divide the different MIDI notes and CEC control that could be sent through MIDI to more than one device if you use one cable, because the 16 channels are working, okay? Done. Why I tell you this? You can see here in Bitwig Studio. Can we show Bitwig, please?
We can.
Thank you very much.
Just the tiny detail, I think your voice is a little bit too hot.
A little bit too hot, let me fix it.
Yes.
That's the bane of my existence. I'm gonna just talk
Like a little bit.
like this. Okay, perfect, done. That's it.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, because the things that I've been thinking with the preamp and some of the hardware inserts, well, whatever. Thanks for letting me know. Okay. Now that we got this, let me come back to the MIDI stuff. When it comes to MIDI, first you gotta select the channel that your device is working with. Since I know that my Moog is set to expect MIDI signal from channel number 1, I will select channel number 1 here. Look at that, I wasn't lying. 16 channels. And then I'm going to select the output, the MIDI output of or the cable or the converter that I'm going to be using to send the MIDI information contained in Bitwig to my digital, my analog synthesizer. How? We're going to select Mio or wherever, because it's the name of the cable that I'm using right now. If everything goes according to the plan, can you show them the synthesizer?
I can.
So stunning and brave.
There it is.
Perfect. The other shot will be better.
Mm.
Oh man. Taking your time, no problem. Thank you very much. Okay. This point here should lead up as soon as I press a note. Let's see. Look, it's working! Good. But we got no sound. Why is that? Coming back to Bitwig. We're going to have to select the return of the king. And in here, since I already got my outputs routed correctly when it comes to the cables, I know that my hardware, my synthesizer is being plugged into the system through the use of channel number 8. Let's do it. I'm gonna go here. This is the name of my audio device, Black Holt, and I'm gonna look for input number 8. Look, this is bus 8. Perfect. Kind of matches. Now, in theory, it should work. But, like communism, just in theory. Why? Let me show you this. If we click on my instrument track, on my hardware track, right now, it's outputting to the master fader. And that's awesome. But you won't be able to hear it. So I will have to go to my sum. And now, if I click or press my keyboard, it's farting. It worked! Awesome!
Of course!
Perfect. So let's now begin having fun. Okay, now we got this guy going. If I press any note, and Thiago is gonna kindly confirm that it's actually going through. Is it?
It is.
Perfect, look at that.
Kind of low volume, but it is.
No, it is. We're gonna fix that. Okay, let's begin. First and foremost, let me explain my routing. Going back to the hardware stuff, look. Right now, we are using MIDI through the use of Me, or wherever the name is of that device, to control and send information coming from MIDI, from Bitwig, through the MIDI cable to control the notes here in the Moog. Perfect. From there, the Moog, its output is being sent to my warm audio at the eye. Probably the one on top, that would be better.
Yes.
Thank you very much. We're going into this guy. Perfect. From there, the warm audio, it's outputting into the discrete preamp, which is the one that is bringing the synthesizer back. But you can see here on my warm audio that I got an extra cable. Where is that cable going? You might be questioning yourself. Great question. I'm glad you didn't ask. It's going. Is creating a copy? Is the send? Which means that everything coming into the DI box is also replicated through this cable. Where is it going? It's going into the micro pitch by Eventide. Where's the squirrel?
Huh?
The squirrel.
Well, it's
Too late.
No, there it is.
Okay.
You asked for it. There it is.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Okay. It's going into the Eventide, and the Eventide is outputting into inputs 5 and 6. Why am I doing that? That's known as a dry, wet setup. It's basically speaking parallel mixing with hardware while tracking. Why? Because it's awesome, you'll see. Okay, let's begin. So, we got our Moog farting. So first, let's make sure that we're getting a proper and loud signal, healthy sounding signal. Let's begin. How I'm gonna do it? Easy. I'm gonna turn off the envelope on the amplifier. Smooth, right?
Beautiful.
Soothing. Because by doing this, I would be able to set the volume correctly. Let's do it. I think that's okay. Now, let me take a look at the volume or the input of my hardware instrument. First and foremost, let's change the name. This is gonna be our, let me change, rename, thank you. Moog Dry. Perfect. And as you can see, the fader is quite low. We can modify it, let's see. For now, it's loud enough, perfect. Now, let's see. Let's begin adding some harmonies. I'm gonna press play once again, and please think of possible positions for as an arpeggio to take place. Here we go. From the top. That's such a cool sound. Okay, I think there is a potential for this particular section here, this area, for us to introduce the arpeggiator. Let's do it. First, let's check on our Mo. Right now, we got the insert, or sorry, the hardware instrument device that is the one that is allowing the CV, the MIDI information from Bitwig, go through the cable and get into the Mo. Since we're dealing with MIDI, we can apply devices, MIDI triggering devices, to or before the hardware insert, such as the arpeggiator. Let's do it. Here we go. Since we're dealing with Bitwig, Bitwig is still intelligent enough, unlike myself, to detect the positioning or where you're clicking. So it will show you the proper devices that will be effective in that particular position. In here, since I click before my MIDI instrument, it's gonna show me everything that is MIDI note triggering, okay? And in this case, we're gonna use the arpeggiator. Okay, thank you. Let's see if it works. It does.
Yes.
Of course. So, the arpeggiator allows us to control of course, the amount of notes being played at a time. And if I go here and press, I don't know, this chord, cool. Nothing fancy, right? Let's begin. Let's see. I'm gonna just press play. Let's find the proper key for this section first. Of course, it's C. Okay, now we got it. Let's. I'm gonna go a little bit higher on the octave. Like it, but you start to see that we got some artifacts. So let's begin. I'm gonna simply record the note here, and from here we're gonna begin messing around with the sound design. Here we go. So let me make sure that I got my channel selected for the recording. There it is. Perfect. Thank you very much. Let's go. Perfect.
What an outstanding performance.
Oof, that was Jordan Rudess worthy. Okay. That was sarcasm, by the way. Okay. So let's see. Damn it. My mouse went rogue in a second. It did. I was back.
Okay.
Okay. Let's continue. I just simply made sure that my performance, the note is starting and finishing where it should, okay? Now, I'm gonna loop this this section back and forth, because now we're gonna begin playing around with our instrument. Let me get the controls over here. Since we're dealing with an arpeggiator, we can play around with it the same way as you would if we were dealing with a regular instrument. So let's say that I'm gonna press play. Let's change the octave first. It's starting to do something fun, right?
Yeah.
But this is kind of too basic, don't you think? Let's add some more. I'm gonna now test around with the different steps of my sequence. Since we're dealing with the sequence, let's see. Let's try this guy being the seventh. Let's see. How cool is that?
It's
We're
starting to
we're
become cool.
starting to get to fun territory. It's starting to sound musical, right? Now, let's see. Right now, I'm just playing just one note. Let's add the fifth. Or let's find a better chord actually. Let's see. This is way too boring. Let's see. We're doing right now. Okay, this could be even performative. Let's try it. I'm gonna let that thing. And let's begin. Here we go. Recording, yes. Here we go. Sorry, I forgot to remove
The cycle.
the cycle bed. That was good.
Yeah.
That was actually good. Let's see. Let me remove the old take, the second take. There is, thank you very much. And this is the one I want. Is it? It is not. Let me confirm. Wherever. Here we go. Yes. Where is it? Let me just quantize it. There is this guy. Well, just do it by foot. I could repeat that section.
Yep.
Sounds like a plan, right?
Yep.
Because we're going to be using the magic of arpeggiating the limit stuff out of everything. So let's select all of these guys. Yes, thank you very much. This is so good about Bitwig. Okay, I'm going to push these guys because this is actually great ideas that we did with the clip launcher, and I want to preserve this. So we're going to be copying all of these guys. Damn it, this is awesome. And just put it there. Excellent.
As simple as that.
As simple as look. Try that in Logic. It's not as easy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's begin with the Moog now. I'm gonna just be twisting knobs randomly, just to see if we get something fun. So let's extend the length of this guy, and let's begin. Here we go.
The Moog sounds so good.
Oh, it's so good. Such a great piece of gear, right?
Yeah.
But wait, there's more. Let's add some cables. Introducing my back.
Very underwhelming.
Yeah, that was terrible, right? No, here I got just a bunch of patch cables, okay? Nothing special. And we're gonna be using these guys to take advantage of the matrix, the patch matrix that the Moog has to offer. Because, as you can imagine, if you can show them the Moog, this matrix over here is it's basically like a built-in modular system, if you wish. because it's fully compatible with your rack modules, such as the other guy that I got over there, but it's not visible, it's not on the screen. And we are able to control the different sections of the Moog through the use of the cables. So we can actually route stuff around inside of the architecture of the Moog, so we can have fun. And that also means that if I had the freaking cable that allowed me to control, to use my interface, and send CV control from Bitwig into my Moog, I could. But I don't have the cable. Not now. Maybe next week. Now, let's hit it. I'm gonna be using this guy. Let's see, right now we're actually, let me make sure that I'm not stepping onto cables because it could ruin the entire broadcast. There it is. We're gonna be using another freaking cable. Okay, there it is. Okay, good. Look, let's use the output. I mean, I will have to shout from here. Okay, we're gonna be using the output of the probably the pulse oscillator, and we're gonna be controlling the cutoff frequency. Let's see. Didn't like it. So let's try something different. Let's try using the I'm gonna keep working with the cutoff, but I'm gonna be using, let me see. Let's use the VC control, which is this guy. Let's see. Here we go. No, try something different. And this is the beauty of this kind of stuff. It's all about looking for the good one. I like to think of this kind of workflow as, how can I put it, like looking for happy accidents rather than having something in mind. Because what makes electronic music, and good electronic music, not the super over commercial one, sound the way it does, and a legit kind of music, is the fact that it's very exploratory. It actually looks for solutions to problems that doesn't exist anymore at that point, if that makes sense. I don't know. Yeah. Because it's all about experimentation. In this case, this is basically what we're trying to do. Let me see. I will try something different because let's try something a little bit less dramatic. Let me go for the LFO. The output of the LFO, where is it? I got it here. Let's use the LFO of the triangle wave, and I'm gonna be again controlling the filter cutoff. Let's see. I don't know if it's gonna work.
No, let's check it out.
There is only one way to know. It did.
Yep,
that was freaking cool.
Yep.
Sorry for shouting, but that's awesome.
Yeah, especially because your microphone's kind of hot.
Yeah. Things that since I'm moving around, I needed to push it a little bit more.
Yeah.
But if it's please, for those of you watching, if my microphone is a little bit harder than it should, please let me know. That's what the chat's for. It's not because you are meant to be asking questions. No, let's continue. Okay. I think it's working, but you made a huge fuss about your wet, dry, wet setup. and we haven't seen any action coming out of it. You got it. Let's do it. Since we're going to be dealing with output or output from the Moog into the event type, I'm going to have to create a new channel for it. So let's do it. I'm going to go to add. Then I'm going to add an audio track. Look at that, so good. And this is going to be, I need to learn this rename. This is going to be micropitch in. That's it. And if everything goes according to the plan, I will have to change, of course, the input. The input right now should be 5 and 6, as I explained to you. Bam. Yes, it is 5 and 6. Perfect. And the output should go to sum. Now, in theory, this should work. But do I have to remind you what happens with communism? Let's make sure that we got the micropitch here on my desk. So show the desk, please, there. We're going to be bringing in this guy little by little. So whenever you're ready, desk.
No, let me give a second.
Yes, go for a desk. Good, now it is. Perfect. This is controlling the input, the return of this guy, okay? And how do we know? Show them Bitwig. Please. You can see that I got selected MP1, and this sphere is controlling the output, okay? So let's see. I'm gonna press play, and if everything goes according to the plan, nothing. Why? Easy. You gotta turn this on. Now it will output wherever it's coming in. What do you think?
What words did you say? That was badass.
That's awesome, right?
Sounded really good. The micropitch never.
Never fails
Yeah.
it never disappoints. Okay, what happened? First and foremost, the micropitch has plenty of algorithms. Right now, this is the starting point. This is the micropitch algorithm, the delay. Sounds so good, right?
Yeah.
Why? Well, it's not just a regular delay. It's actually creating micropitched, hence the name, repetitions of the original signal coming in that are detuned with each repetition. And you got control over two different heads, if you want to call it like that. One, it will detune upwards in pitch, while the second one is going to detune downwards in pitch. That means that if I press a note, allegedly, now, you see?
Yeah, that alone is a
That's it. It's insane, right?
Yep.
So cool. So let's play around with this guy. So far, since we got some form of sound already going on, which I am kind of happy with, not necessarily super thrilled, but happy enough, let's try to make some more music with it. Here we go. I'm gonna go back to Bitwig now, and let's take a look at the device itself. Let's play around with the arpeggiator for now. What we got right now is the sequence. But if I press play and if I turn off any of the different spots or steps throughout the sequence, we will affect the sound of the arpeggiator. Let's see if it works. Not only did it added an extra layer of movement to the sound, but it also allows me now to use the same pattern and change it, just creating a new pattern. You saw, right? Just by muting some of the steps. If only there was a way for me to use a button that would allow me to physically turn off and on those steps through the use of, I don't know, MIDI. Guess what? There is. Let's do it. Take a look at this. It's actually badass. Once again, we're going to be using the glorious UF8 by SSL. Take us there, please. Look at that stunning riff. So fast. Incredible. The fastest trigger in the West. So, we're going to now use... Right now, we're using the layer that controls Bitwig. Now, we're in the layer that controls, or sends, rather, CC information. When I use this mode, every button you see here, including faders and encoders, are now sending me the signal. And you can imagine what kind of shenanigans you can do. We already have been using this guy throughout the production of this video to control some of the instruments and sounds. And it's been badass. But now I'm going to be using one of the buttons, let's say this guy, to turn on and off these guys, the different steps. So let's say I'm going to right-click this guy. Oh, look at that, map controller to key, or key. Let's do it. I'm going to turn that guy off. Perfect. Look, it's working.
It is that? Awesome.
How's that? And let's do the same, but with another step. Let's say somewhere here. We're going to use the same button because that's the kind of people I am. So, look. No mouse, mom. So let's see if it works. How about that?
Really cool.
Now I'm turning my sequencer into an actual instrument. And while the track was playing, I got an idea. How about if we control as well the output, the resonance point for our synthesizer through the use of the same LFO, or LFO, yeah, we're using LFO, yes, the triangle LFO. Let's do it. We're going to be using on the Moog, the LFO will go out into multi, and sorry, that's not, this is multi, and from the multi will multiply the signal, the CC signal, the CB signal that you're feeding it with, and now instead of having one LFO using a triangle shape, controlling whatever, now we can have two of the same without having to use one of the weird patch cables that allows you to duplicate. Good. So I'm gonna patch in this guy. Multi number 2 is gonna control the resonance, and multi number 1 is gonna control the what were we doing? The cutoff. Let's see. Are you happy? Aren't you entertained?
I'm thrilled.
I can see that.
No, but for real, this sounds really good.
Excellent.
And it's starting to become a very complex sound, and even a performance itself, because of the arpeggiator kind of responding in a very interesting way. It's giving quite a lot of complexity to the track.
Yes. Now let's add a little bit of more extra sauce from the micro pitch. Let's do it. Here we go. And for this, I will press play, and you will have to deal with it. I will explain myself later. I should have recorded that.
You should have. Too late now.
No problem. That's a problem with this. Working with hardware, and Robbie, good to have you here. We moved the live stream earlier, as you can see, and we're about to finish actually. No, we're still in time. But that's what happens when you're rocking analog stuff. Since I'm trying to make points and explain myself, I'm not recording. I should be recording. And usually I am recording this kind of crap. But let me explain what I did. An idea came to my mind, which is something that doesn't happen often. So I should make sure that I write it down. I was like, dude, the reverb, the delay sound that we're getting out of the micro pitch, it's actually quite atmospheric. Why don't we just record it, but making it in an exaggerated fashion? And we're going to be pushing, or just so that I duck down the volume of the dry signal. And that's why it's awesome having a wet, dry, wet setup. And it's very easy and affordable to do. You just simply need a DI box in case you're rocking a synthesizer. But if you're rocking a guitar setup, totally not sponsored. No, actually, this is a JHS split box. Awesome. It does the same, but for guitar. Get one. Like $50. For real, this is very inexpensive. I actually didn't totally buy two by accident. Yeah, I don't know if it's back. No, we're at 9 UK time. We're testing stuff, Robin. We don't know exactly which one is the best time because this being a very recent and new channel, we exactly don't know what to do. We're still getting metrics. So let's see. So my idea right now is to create and record and sample and then sample this and turn this into a badass atmosphere. So let's do it, right? So first, I'm gonna press play once again. And I'm gonna go to the micro pitch and I'm gonna increase the feedback. So here we go. I think this could be a great sample. Mm-hmm. Let's do it. I'm gonna just record it here. We're not gonna record in the Moog, thank you. Micro pitch in. So, Armin recording. For those about to rock, we salute you. Badass, and I should have just stopped where it finished. Where? There it is. Okay. That was good. Yeah, but what's the point? This is the point. I'm gonna turn this off for now, and we're gonna mute that guy actually. Now we're gonna create a new audio track. Bada bing, bada bam. I'm gonna put this bad boy there, and then I'm gonna call this guy. Aptly named with every ounce of love in my heart. This is gonna be called Fafo.
Fitting.
Okay. And if you don't know what that means, just don't you guys have phones? We truly need to get that name.
Yeah.
That would be freaking awesome. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna be Fafoing the crap out of this guy. How are we gonna do that? Easy. Introducing.
I'll put it to some.
I'm on it. Thank you for remembering me. Because now I'm getting carried away with what I'm doing. Okay, after Faf, we're gonna begin Fafoing. We're gonna be inserting a new plugin that actually you can get for free right now from Sound Toys. The name is something Burp. It's a reverb, but since I don't know, let's go for the career. Because Sound toys, sound toys, sound toys. Come on. No, 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 no. Damn.
You know the thing.
Let's go for it. Sound toys. Oh, what's the name? Reverb. That's it. Oh, damn it. I got them. How can I remember? Let's do it the old-fashioned way. Uprith all devices, yes, but a vendor, yeah, like that, like the pagan kings of old. This stuff is way too millennial. It's way too. I'm too old for this shit. Okay, Space Blender is the name. Yeah, that one. Thank you. Drop it. Don't crash. They didn't crash. Okay, this is a Space Blender in all its low resolution glory. I don't know why it looks so bad. So, what is this? This is a multi. It's like a reverb slash delay that it actually does this. Look, can you see that?
I can say that. Don't know what it means though.
It's the repetitions.
Okay.
The more you add, the more repetitions you get. And when you play around with this, you see that it's starting to change the amplitude and the length of those repetitions. You see?
Okay. Sounds cool in principle.
It's already awesome. And out of the box. And since we're going to create a texture of this bad boy, because we don't give a damn. Let's see. And since this is called FAFO, let's FAFO. Here we go. It is free for now, Robbie. So you truly gotta get it if you haven't got it, because I think it's awesome. Can I get one?
You can indeed.
What do you think?
Well, I think that meme actually basically summarizes my perception of the whole deal.
Very cool, right?
No, it's really cool. It's really cool.
It's
And
incredible.
it's very atmospheric, but it's giving quite a lot of texture to the whole thing.
Texture, man, exactly. And you can automate everything. To remind the effery. Since we're getting close to the end, let's see how well this guy fits into the mix. I'm gonna go from the top because this is the kind of stuff that actually would inspire a new section for the track. Here we go from the top. Yeah, right?
Yep.
That was the moment on which, if I wasn't stupid as I am, I could have got my micro pitch kicking in.
If only.
If only. But yeah, good. Let's do it again. Here we go from the top because this clearly needs a riser, this section, but we will deal with that not today because it's not that day. Here we go. Let's do it. And I think we could be quite happy if we double this. This is so good, damn it. Let's bring this bad boy in. Where are my drums? Oh, excellent.
Who even need drums?
Who needs drums? Well, let's see. We might not need them there. And then we bring them here. Yeah. Now we're gonna copy this again. Not that much, thank you. Oh, we're gonna look at this guy. Let's see. Here we go. And let's map this out. I should be doing this first. Let's find the proper tune, the proper chord progression for this guy. Cycle. Cool. That's better. That's a much better rhythm. Let's see. I can do this all day. So good, right? Yeah. So let's just. I'm gonna just record a few chords and that's it because this could be the entirety of our life. Okay, let's do it. Okay, I'm gonna go for fifth. Here we go. Yeah, I don't need the micro pitch right now. No, it seems like it's randomized, but it's not the randomizer. It's actually the arpeggiator. I actually have the Bitwig arpeggiator controlling the Moog, and it's actually giving the impression of randomization.
But he's asking if there's a way to randomize it.
Oh, there is a way to randomize it. We will do it next week. For now. Because as with everything in Bitwig, we can apply the modulators to everything. But let's do that. Let's finish this off because I'm gonna forget. Okay, so here we go. That's it. Let's make sure that everything's quantized because I suck. There is perfect. Now, let's try this out. I'm gonna do this. We're gonna make this great again. Oh, there it is. Okay. Now let's see. Now that we got control over this region, I'm gonna create a huge loop so we can actually apply the FAFO treatment back to the Moog and the micropitch together. Here we go. This is good. I'm gonna extend this section another bar. Like that freaking awful song with the Doors, you know, Whiskey Bar.
Oh yeah.
Awful. And I love the Doors, but that one, damn. You know what? I'm gonna reverse the crap out of that guy. Because faffle. I'm gonna
Since we're at it.
Well, since we're at it, let's faffle the crap out of everything. That's a possible good name for this track.
Faffle?
Faffle.
Yeah. Actually.
Okay, let's see. Since we're faffling into oblivion, let's extend this guy. And I'm gonna add. Yeah!
Why not?
Why not? And let's faffle. Here we go. And once again, I should have recorded that.
You should have, but you didn't.
Yes. No problem, we're effing around. So, what just happened? First, you saw me playing around first with the volume or the output from my micropitch and the Moog as they are integrated into the mix. I got a name, if interested, throw the name, Robbie. That would be fun because my name sucks. That actually is just the code name because every song that we produce here are always coded with terrible names.
we wish we could output them with the names that we have for ourselves.
Yeah, but yeah,
they're
and
usually very, very bad.
yeah, when we're performing live, our set list is always kind of impossible for people to detect because it's filled to the rim with just swearing and terrible names. But whatever. Webs of Wanderlust. I like it. Like it. Good idea. Good idea. Like it. Yeah, sounds kind of fafoing. I see what you did there. Excellent. Okay, now let me explain what happened. Look. First, I was fafoing my way around using the faders to control or input the amount of the sound coming out of the Moog and the micro pitch into the mix. And I realized that I was trying to keep them at the same level. Not the same level. See, what I mean is the same amount, if that makes sense. Since this wet very wet setup allows me to control the amount of effects without affecting the OG. That's why it sounds so rich and clean. The thing is this. I realized that I like them at a particular position, and it would be basically impossible for me to set them back to that position easily. Unless, if only there was a way to control the output of the Moog. No, wait a second, I got a volume controller. Let's use it. And that's what I did. And then I realized, wait a second, I just remembered that I have a badass Boss pedal connected to my Moog. And did it sound amazing?
It was awesome.
Oh, man. Yeah. Oh, man, yeah. This is actually my first pedal ever in history. And it's still effing around and finding out clearly. And I should stop using that word because it's been enough. I want to make it cringe. I want to make it cringy. But yeah, it sounded amazing. Super cool, right?
Yeah.
Why? Because
Dirt.
it's started in dirt, but I am using it actually as a distortion because this is an overdrive distortion. So it's not an overdrive and a distortion. It's a weird design that is kind of polarizing. Some people hate it, some people love it. I love it because it actually sounds very good. And you saw what it did to the synthesizer. It actually allowed the synthesizer to get a little bit more cutty.
Yeah, more presence.
More presence, but also it's cutting through the mix way better than before. So cool. Then the cable. Then on the Moog, I started to F around with my attack and decay because and the envelope, the amount of modulation being applied to the filter using is using right now the envelope generator to apply the motion into the synth. Okay, sounds very good, but you know what? I realized that I don't have the FAFO take for this particular. What's the name? What's her face?
The section.
That section. You know what? I'm gonna commit. I'm gonna create a new channel for the Moog to be. Look, I have never done this before. No, but I wanna perform. So no, F it. I'm gonna create a new audio track. Thank you. This is Moog MIDI. We're gonna rename this guy to Moog MIDI. So it's the one we use for outputting MIDI. There it is, perfect. This guy is gonna be Moog Dry. There is. And this guy is outputting to the sum. There is. And this guy's gonna be coming in through the bus number 8. Perfect. That means that we will have to change the output of this guy, to the input, the return to no return. Why? Easy. Nothing happened. Of course, we gotta turn this on. Now it is. Got it? Because I want to record my performance. That's gonna be dangerous. Because I don't know exactly if I would be able to replicate the sound. But let's do it. I'm gonna go from the top because this is about feeling it. Get me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're going full on artist.
Artist. Let me just get a proper. I need to know cruise mode. we got cruise mode. So we got control over my arpeggiator. We got control over volume. Let's rock from the top. Okay, this is one of those moments in which may the light of the Emperor protects. It sucked. Let's do it again. I didn't like it, but that's a full point. That's how you do this kind of music. Let's do it again. Because I was testing everything I could. From the top. Here we go. Not bad.
That was a much better performance.
That, of course, man, because I was the first one is clearly just testing stuff. This was good. I liked some of the stuff I did, some of the stuff I tried. Not everything was perfect, but it in general was quite good. So, in that note, what did we learn today? Isn't Bitwig amazing?
Honestly, it's very fun how the whole approach allows for the song to kind of take shape almost on its own. because the work is being done on the sound rather than the song, and the song takes shape as the sound gets developed. So it's a kind of an organic process, even though it's the most synthetic thing ever. So it's kind of interesting.
Yes,
There's a bit of a contrast there.
and you can see that it's very, very musical because it allows for quite a lot of expressivity through the use of the tools. Of course, being the kind of people I am, I like to use my analog stuff because you see the hands-on its element is so important. And you saw that even my use for the UF8 is I use it basically as an instrument right now. I can't stress enough how good this controller is for real. Even if you're not mixing and if you are producing music, this using the CC mode turns this bad boy into an insanely powerful MIDI controller. That alone is already, damn it, a good selling point for me. Bad, very good, very good. At this stage, I think we got a very good track. I'm not gonna do anything to the pedal or to the synthesizer because I wanna preserve what we got here. So next week we can finish off or get closer to the end of the track. Because right now we got a good section, but it's far from being the end of the track. Get me? We need to add more, at least another few bars of more stuff. We got this particularly cool chord progression that we haven't used yet, and it's I wanna capitalize on it by using this guy. Also, we need an important point here, which is a goddamn symbol. Let's add it. Now that we're at it, let me get my automation lane. Show me. Damn it, it's not here. It's this. Show me your intels. Perfect. Here is. Let's find. This is another one. We need the. Not the group. I want the. Fill. Right there. Okay. And where is. Yeah, we need it there. Remember that we actually created. Shit. Like whatever, I'm gonna do that later. You know, I'm just simply gonna create an automation point here, okay? Because I need, yeah, good. Where up? This makes me feel like the Three Stooges. Okay, now there is. Okay, because nowadays we should have a freaking crash. We didn't.
Allegedly.
Because I put it. Whatever. So, basically speaking, that would be it for today. Please feel free to ask anything in the comment section once this video is over, because this is actually very, very. I went a little bit overboard with today's approach. I tried to explain myself as much as I could, but this was more getting you inside of my head when it comes to producing music and how my brain works while developing a track. I won't stress. I cannot stress enough the importance of understanding gear. It's not about having plenty of tools. All of the stuff that I got here around me is being basically the labor of my life. Okay, so it's I've been acquiring it little by little throughout more than a decade at this point. And but I can tell one thing: since I began with little to nothing, I learned to use and squeeze everything out of every piece of gear I got. Look, I'm using my first pedal ever right now. Why? Because it's still around and kicking. Because it's been kicked into oblivion, but it's still in proper condition. And I know what to expect from it because I know how to use it. Because I have spent the time developing the skills and understanding on how to use my gear correctly. So please, if I can teach you something, or you can learn something from me, rather, learn to spend time with your gear. Because the solution is not buying more stuff. The solution is learning how to use the stuff you got already. Including the DOS. Bitwig is basically, the way I look at it, is as an instrument rather than a DAW. And you see how my interaction is with this guy. Mm-hmm. It's not the same as I do with, for example, Logic. In Logic, I think of Logic as an actual DAW, like a platform for me to drop ideas in. Bitwig, I'm even using it as an instrument, as a synthesizer of some sorts. So it's on you, but come up with plans for it. So With that being said, if you like Sports Channel, the best way to do is subscribing. Make sure that you click on that freaking notification bell because it seems that subscriptions means nothing to YouTube. So please subscribe and then click on that freaking bell because otherwise you won't be notified when we go live. Because instead of just, well, you know what I mean. It's so stupid. Now, that being said, what else is needed? Oh, yeah, subscribe to our Instagram account and also social media. Follow us on X because that's where you can join us while we trash some kind of liberal-minded people. All your society is where you can find a little bit more fun, is where we go a little bit more unhinged. And yeah. Is where we faffle, okay? Now, last thing to say, Robbie, I finished the mix for the track we produced together. I will send to you a link by email to the download link for the final mix of the track. It's very cool. I like it a lot. It's super good. I say it with all the humbleness in my heart, of course. Of course. So yeah, I will send the link to you. For those of you who know, Robbie and we collaborated, and us collaborated in a track, and it's gonna be well. You can see some of the process for the mix, which is not the mix that I did at the end. I decided to remix it, but you can see basically the stepping stones on what what I used to devise the final mix. Wherever. I will send the link to you by the end of the day because right now we have to have lunch and then prepare for the next section for the day here in the studio. So thank you very much. And as usual, as every single time I meet you, I gotta remind you that you should never let anybody tell you what to dream about. And remember that we will see you when we see you.